Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have an exclusive card reveal for the sixth set of the My Hero Academia card game Jet Burn, which comes out in about 2 months after this video comes out, around mid-November for it. And it also has not only a bunch of new cards, but the new art style for the card game, which we're going to see for all of these cards. So we're going to reveal the new Shoto character, the fourth Shoto that this card game has had, and it's on Death, Fire, and Water. So I've usually been a really big fan of Death as a symbol in this card game, and so being able to show off this one's really cool. The disruption that you usually get to do with it, and being able to just make it a little bit difficult for your opponent to do what they want to do is usually one of my favorite things in this card game, and you can definitely do this with the Shoto and his package as well. So we're going to go over the character and then 4 attacks and 4 foundations that come with it as well. So going over Shoto itself, it is a 6 hand size with 28 health, and has a response of once per turn after you play a ranged card, you get to seal 1 rival foundation, which there already are just so many good range cards you want to be playing with Shoto in mind as it is. And it also has an enhance of your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage, and also your attack gets an additional +1 speed and damage for every 2 sealed rival foundations. So obviously off the character itself, you get to once per turn seal a rival foundation, and then if you're able to compound that, you get a lot more from that too. So that's kind of how he works. And going over some of his attacks, we have the Charring Flurry, which is an ultra rare, and this has a lot to go over for it, so excuse me if I miss anything for it, but it's a 5 difficulty, it's a 3 low for 5 damage, but immediately it has an enhance of discard 1 momentum to seal up to 2 non-character cards in your rival stage. So if you're able to do this and then immediately you use your character enhance, this becomes a 5 low for 7 damage, as well as sealing the stuff. And again, one of my favorite things in this card game is that usually you get to do a double benefit, and the synergies are really present for it. So being able to seal a card is already strong in itself, but then getting additional benefits for doing stuff that you already want to be doing makes some stuff in combos really, really strong. So we also have enhance of commit and freeze 1 sealed rival foundation or asset in their stage. So being able to additionally get a stun effect, which also this does have stun on it, stun 1 on it too. And then also response flip 1 foundation. After this attack deals damage, your rival loses 1 health for each of their sealed foundations. So immediately, let's say you seal 2, and this is a ranged attack, so you sealed a 3rd one. So as long as this attack does damage, being able to make your opponent lose 3 more health, and you stun 2 things with this, essentially, this seems like quite a menace to kind of start off your turn and get some damage in. It's also a 1 high for a block modifier, which is traditionally very good in my experience too. So a really great card. Seems very strong for this deck, and even a lot of other ones too. So kind of following it up for more of the, I'd say, support attacks, but we have Frozen Slide, which is a 5 difficulty as well for 2 mid on a block modifier, and 3 speed with 7 damage. So pretty easy to make this, a 4 mid for 8 damage. The damage this can do is really high, but also response after you block with this card, seal and commit 1 rival foundation, and also enhance if this attack is blocked, you get to seal 1 rival foundation. So your opponent has to either play around with this, and this is a really good one to start with as the first one, because you get to then seal 1 and then combo for the next one, which is great. So a little nothing too crazy with this one, but I think very good for the support of the archetype and such. Next up, we have Provisional Pursuit. So this is a 4 difficulty with a 2 low block, and it's a 3 speed high for 5 damage, and has a common enhance with range, which is pretty easy, of draw 1 card and you get to seal 1 foundation. So again, just being able to draw a card and not lose your momentum. This is a rare, but it's just very strong for you. And then let's say you started this off with the Frozen Slide, and they did effect. Let's say the attack is blocked, and you played a range attack, so you immediately already sealed 2 of your opponent's foundations with this and your leader effect, and then you can go into this. You get to draw a card, seal another foundation, and then this can get +2 speed and +2 damage off your leader itself, and then +3/+3 if you had another way to seal a foundation too. So this one is going to get some pretty strong damage, and I think if you are able to combo with this successfully, I feel like this one or the other one's it's gonna be hard to block both at times, especially if you're able to seal off your rivals' foundations too. So a pretty good way to kind of end a turn or have a final attack on a mid, maybe not a final go for the win, but like a midway way to get some damage in. So, and not like lose card advantage either. And then our last attack, it's Shrouded Strike. So 4 difficulty, 2 mid for the block modifier, 4 speed mid with 4 damage. Enhance, if you've not dealt damage this turn, this gets +2 speed. And also enhance, commit and freeze 1 sealed rival foundation. So this is like a really good like first attack, I feel like. Being able to get like 2 damage in, or +2 speed, so you can make it a a 6/4, and then also if you're able to seal your foundation with your rivals enhance, with your enhance from your leader itself, so or your character, so you can response, freeze something, and then enhance the first enhance to commit and freeze the sealed one. So there's some good synergy there. So I think this one's a little bit hard to get both enhances off. Like you want it to do it first, but it's also 4 difficulty, so you want to usually do it later in your line. But if your opponent blocks your first attack, you can definitely follow up with this Shrouded Strike and get some good advantage there. So those are all the attacks we're going through. And for the foundations, we have Embrace the Past. It's a 1 difficulty with a 3 low block modifier. If your rival has 2 or more sealed foundations, this attack gets +1 damage. So very easy to get this off consistently in the deck, I feel like, especially since you get like 1 sealed foundation for free anyways. And I mean, there are ways to play around, I think, a lot of this too. If your opponent has ways to get rid of their own foundations, they can get rid of the sealed ones, but most of those are foundations themselves. So if you seal the foundation that pops other foundations, I think that could be helpful there. But just a good 1 foundation, I think, for the deck. We also have equipment demonstration. So this is a 3 difficulty, so a little bit chunky for foundation, but enhance, if your rival has 2 or more sealed foundations, add this card to your momentum. And then also response, discard 1 momentum. After the start phase, you get to seal 1 rival foundation. So this can work both ways. I think it's very strong. Obviously, you can add it to your momentum, which means that it's very easy to use the Charring Flurry. Even if you haven't had a hit yet, you can use that foundation to put that into your momentum to discard 1 to seal up to 2 more things and get that additional effect. So I think that's a really good help for that, and mitigates a lot of issues with maybe not having momentum if your opponent's able to get a lot of your blocks in. We also have the failed role model. So enhance, flip, you get to mill 1 and seal 1 foundation, and then also deadlock, enhance, flip, seal, commit, and freeze 1 rival foundation. So this one's okay. You being able to seal something is fine. You do have to get the additional flip it, so you only get to do it once for it, but it's kind of fine what it is. If you need to make sure that 1 foundation doesn't interact with you for the turn, that's great. And then also if you need like an emergency way to get like 1 more sealed foundation to get your divisible by 2 to get the additional speed and damage for it, I don't know, just being able to have a button you can press and say, okay, fine, I'll use this. I can't use it again, but I'll be able to be in range to, having the difference between 3 sealed foundations and 4 sealed foundations in this deck is important enough. I am going to do it. So we have that there. And then the last one we have Icy Display, which I do like this one. This one seems pretty strong for the deck in general. Of response once per turn, and it has Tenacious, which means that this ability is playable while committed, but after a rival foundation is sealed, you get to ready this foundation. So pretty easy to get this off. I would say this is probably a staple in this deck based on my own understanding of, it is response and it's once per turn, but being able to say, okay, I get to do this, and you get to ready this foundation. And this can be, as far as I know, both players' turn, and you guys can correct me if not, but if you play a range card, that means that if you block with it too, which means that even though this is a card that is once per turn, it is once per turn on both players' turns. So let's say we block with our Charring Flurry for some reason, then you're able to, you played a card, which means you get to you get to ready this foundation on your opponent's turn too, which is great. So I think that's great for extending your the amount of foundations that you have ready at any given time, and that seems very strong for it. So anyways, if that's wrong, let me know. But that is going to be my overview of Shoto Todoroki. Thanks again to the My Hero Academia card game team and UVS Games in general for letting me do this. Make sure to check out Jetburn, which again comes out in November, and that's going to be it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.